Hi, everybody. This is Dr. William Clark here for MBA 610. So glad that you tuned into this video. And I wanted to take the time to record this video to walk you through the process of getting your LDP done and more specifically to work on the development of your SMART goals. Now, this is an assignment that you're going to be completing early on in the MBA 610 course, and I wanted to make sure that you had this resource to help you think through what you are getting ready to go through. Now, once you click on Project 1 and Step 1, you're going to scroll down a little bit. And before I go to the LDP template, I want you to click on the SMART Goal link here. And I already had it pulled up here, but I want you to read through the SMART Goal examples here, as well as the descriptions of what SMART actually means, which stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. And here you see some examples here as well. We also provide a limitation of what SMART can and cannot do as you think through your goals. But I wanted to make sure you were paying attention to that resource as you were developing your SMART goal. Now, when you go back to Project 1, Step 1, you're also going to click on LDP template here. And I already downloaded it, and I'm going to now open the Word document here because I want to walk you through something very specific as it relates to your LDP goal. Now, when you complete this for the very first time, obviously you want to fill out your name and your current job title. Now, you want to fill out here your long-term goal that you want to accomplish in the next 3 to 5 years. And the key point that I want to highlight for this particular tutorial is, what goal do you have for yourself and your career that you want to accomplish, keyword, in the next 3 to 5 years? Now, over the years that I've taught this course, one of the things that has made this difficult for students is the type of goal that they would list. And in most cases, people list goals that they will accomplish in less than 3 years. Some people put down goals like completing the MBA program. If you stay focused, you can complete the MBA program in 18 months or 24 months. So that falls well short of the 3-year minimum. In other cases, people put down getting promoted in the next 3 to 5 years. And one of the things that I advise students on when it comes to promotions is that promotions can happen almost immediately, in some cases tomorrow. And the scenario that I typically provide is, you're working in this position and someone that is above you may decide to all of a sudden quit while you're taking the MBA 610 course. And because you've been doing such a good job, doing what you do, you may get tapped on the shoulder and offered the promotion. There are some cases on the job where people all of a sudden pass away. And in those unfortunate circumstances, it's in some cases, it's the next man up. And you may find yourself in that situation. The other scenario around promotions is you may be looking for a job elsewhere at another company, and you may come across a position that's several steps ahead of you or a step ahead of where you are, and it offers more pay, a different salary, a different title, and some management responsibility that's currently beyond what you have. And you may get the job offer while taking the MBA 610 course. So even after, in all those 3 scenarios, promotions can happen in a relatively short form, right? It can happen in less than 3 years. So as you're completing this goal, I want you to not list getting promoted. I want you to not list completing the MBA 610 course. Why? Because this goal is about what you can accomplish in 3 to 5 years. It has to be a SMART goal. So it would have to take you, this goal will have to take you at minimum 3 years, maximum 5 years. It has to be something that requires you to stretch yourself. It's something that will require you to put some effort into it. It will require you to challenge yourself. So I'm going to just ask you to think critically of what it will take to accomplish this goal in 3 to 5 years. Now, I do want to provide an example that I worked on with a student several years ago that I thought was just an amazing example, and it puts into perspective what it takes to create a SMART goal, but also what it takes to create a SMART goal that will take 3 to 5 years to accomplish. So this particular student was a fundraiser for an institution, and current in his position, just to give you some fake numbers here, he needed to raise $50,000 in his current position. And so he wanted to obviously see himself promoted and grow in his career. And as we talked, we came across the realization that the next step for him would be to become the director of the department. And to fulfill that role, he would need to now be responsible to raise $1 million. So starting at 50,000 as an individual fundraiser, he would have to jump to $1 million. So when he shared that with me, I asked him, well, how is that possible? How can you make such a dramatic leap? Then he shared with me that, I would be responsible for staff. So the staff would raise roughly $500,000 amongst themselves, and then I would raise $500,000 on my own. And I said, aha, so that puts that into perspective. So now, you can, see where this is going, right? Where he has to jump from 50 to $1 million. There are a couple of things that have to take place in order for him to do just that. Number one, obviously complete the MBA 610 course, because this course is going to develop the leadership skills that are needed to run an organization or run a department. And so as he builds his leadership skills, he'll be able to practice what it means to lead a team of fundraisers. Number two, he's going to have to raise his game. He's going to have to raise his game from $50,000 a year of fundraising to $500,000. And so it's very difficult to do that overnight, especially if you've been in a position just to raise $50,000 for several years. So to raise $500,000 on your own, you're going to have to deploy different fundraising techniques that are well beyond and dramatically different than what you're doing in this current moment of your career. So now, instead of just soliciting dollars from alumni, he's going to have to fundraise at events, fundraise through networking, fundraise through grants, fundraise through endowments, fundraise through gifts that are left behind once an individual passes away, fundraise through events like golfing events, etc. And as he works on that, it will take him several years to get to that $500,000. And we kind of guesstimated that if he put into practice the leadership skills he's going to learn here, if he puts into practice the other things he's going to learn in the MBA program at UMUC, and he puts into practice some of the things he's going to learn by studying and reading fundraising best practices from outside sources, it will take him roughly 3.5 years to systematically elevate his fundraising skills from 50 to 100,000, from 100,000 to 250,000, and from 250 to $500,000. And when you think about it, going from 50 to $500,000 not only gives him the ability to say, I can do this as a director, he also has learned some tips and tricks and ideas on what it takes to raise money. And now he can use that information to lead his team of fundraisers. So as he's elevating other people under him to raise money, he can help them think through strategies and ideas and concepts that he found useful and very impactful in his ability to fundraise. So when you think about that example of what it means to develop a SMART goal, the question is this SMART goal of becoming the director of the fundraising department and raising $1 million annually, is that a SMART goal in the next 3 to 5 years? Well, let's think about it. Is it specific? Yes, it's specific because he needs to raise exactly $1 million a year for this particular institution. All right. Is it measurable? Yes. Go back to the $1 million. If he meets the $1 million, he has met his goal. If he's exceeded it, he's exceeded his goal. If he falls short of the $1 million, that means he has not been successful. So it's very much measurable. Is it achievable? This question here is a challenging question because, again, when we started out with this scenario, we started out by saying he has to go from 50,000 to 1 million. And so I just walked you through how he can go from 50 to half to $500,000, right? And it's by learning and testing and growing his personal skill. Now that he's capable of raising $500,000 on his own, he's now able to teach his staff how to raise $500,000 amongst themselves. So if he has a staff of 2, he can teach 2 people how to raise $250,000. If he has a staff of 5, he can teach 5 people how to raise $100,000. And he can teach them how to do that because he's learned several techniques along the way. So going back to the SMART goal, is it achievable for him to raise $1 million annually? The answer is clearly yes at this point. He can do that within the next 3 to 5 years. So if he has a staff that's raising $500,000 together with them by themselves, and he's raising his own $500,000 together, that's $1 million, it's very much achievable. Is it realistic? Yes. When you think back on what I just walked you through and the systematic development of his skills, his ongoing development and learning on how to raise money from high net worth individuals from various mechanisms and platforms, it is very much realistic. And is it time bound? Yes. He has 12 months to raise $1 million once he ascends systematically to meet his goals. So as he raises beyond his $50,000 currently on an annual basis, again, that's on a 12-month cycle, and he systematically increases that, and now he's in the director position, he now is time-bound to raise that same dollar amount, $1 million, in a 12-month cycle once he hits the goal of director. So when we go back, his goal now, his SMART goal now, is to become the director of the fundraising department and raise $1 million annually for the institution that he works for. Again, I want to reiterate, the goal that you're setting cannot be accomplished in less than 3 years. The key idea behind this is, what can you accomplish within the next 3 to 5 years? Okay, that is important. That's going to be essential for you as you develop your goal. And I hope that this tutorial is helpful. And if you find that you're struggling, I do offer myself, I make myself available to talk through this with you, because I do recognize that the goals that each of you are going to set that are SMART, S-M-A-R-T, are specific to your career, specific to your industry, specific to your position and your desired end goal within the next 3 to 5 years. I have worked with a number of students across several industries and several career choices and several levels where they've started, and have helped them work through their SMART goal. And I want to help you do that if you find any trouble developing that SMART goal. So I hope that this tutorial is helpful. And I hope that if I can be of any assistance throughout your time taking MBA 610 with me, I'll be glad to support you and to help you. Again, this is Dr. William Clark for MBA 610 at the University of Maryland, and we shall see you soon. Bye-bye.